So there I was, standing on my 200 acres of land that I bought for just $2,000, and this woman, let's call her Karen, is screaming at me that I owe her HOA $15,000 in fines. For land that's been in my family's name for 6 months. Land that's nowhere near any subdivision. And here's the kicker, she's living on my property. In a house I didn't know existed. And she claims SHE owns it. This is the story of how a $2,000 investment turned into the most insane legal battle of my life, and trust me, you won't believe where this goes. Because what started as a dream property deal became a nightmare involving fake deeds, a family who thought they were untouchable, and a plot twist that even I didn't see coming. Stay with me, because this gets wild. Let me take you back 6 months. I'm scrolling through a county tax auction website at 2 a.m. Because that's what you do when you're obsessed with real estate investing, and I see it, 200 acres in rural Montana. Starting bid? $2,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. Red flag city, right? But here's the thing, I've been studying tax lien auctions for 2 years. I knew sometimes rural land goes for nothing because nobody wants it. It's too remote, no utilities, maybe landlocked. But this one? This one had road access. It bordered national forest. And according to the satellite images, it was absolutely gorgeous. I did my homework. Checked the title records, well, I thought I did. Confirmed it was a legitimate county auction. The land had been seized for unpaid property taxes. The previous owner had died 3 years ago with no heirs claiming it. Clean and simple. Auction day comes, and I'm sitting there with my laptop, heart pounding. Bidding starts at $2,000. I wait. And wait. 30 seconds left, nobody else bids. I won 200 acres for $2,000. I literally jumped out of my chair. My girlfriend thought I'd lost my mind. But I couldn't believe it, I just became a landowner for the price of a used car. 2 weeks later, I'm driving out to see my property for the first time. It's a 5-hour drive from where I live, but I don't care. I've got the deed in my glove compartment, I've got my GPS coordinates programmed in, and I'm ready to walk my land. I turn off the highway onto this dirt road. Beautiful pine trees everywhere, mountains in the distance. I'm thinking about how I'm going to develop this, maybe parcel it out, maybe build a cabin, maybe just hold it and watch it appreciate. Then I see it. A house. A full-sized, 2-story house with a white picket fence, a garden, and a trampoline in the yard. On my property. I pull over and check my GPS 3 times. I pull up the property boundaries on my phone. There's no mistake. This house is sitting right in the middle of my 200 acres. My stomach drops. Did I miss something? Is there some kind of easement I didn't know about? I'm panicking, scrolling through my documents on my phone, when the front door opens. Out walks this woman, probably mid-40s, in a fleece vest, and she's marching toward my truck with a purpose. I roll down my window, and before I can even say hello, she goes. Are you the trespasser who's been claiming to own this property? I'm stunned. I literally can't speak for a second. Then I manage, I'm the new owner. I bought this at a county auction. You bought nothing, she cuts me off. This is HOA property, and you're trespassing. I'm going to need you to leave immediately, or I'll call the sheriff. HOA property? I don't even know what that means. There's no subdivision here. There's no neighborhood. It's just wilderness and this one house. So I get out of my truck. Big mistake, apparently, because Karen literally takes a step back and pulls out her phone like I'm threatening her. I've got my hands up like I'm surrendering. Ma'am, I think there's been a misunderstanding. I have the deed right here. I don't care what fraudulent documents you have, she says. My family has owned this land for 12 years. We have a deed. We pay our HOA fees. And you're in violation of about 15 different HOA regulations right now. I'm completely lost. What HOA? There's no subdivision here. She gets this smug look. The Mountain Vista Property Owners Association. We have 11-member families who own parcels throughout this area. And you are parked on a common area, which means you owe a $500 fine for unauthorized vehicle storage. I actually laugh. I can't help it. I've been here for 3 minutes. The fine is assessed upon violation, not duration, she says, like she's reading from a script. Additionally, you'll owe a monthly access fee of $250 for using our private road. The county road? Which is maintained by our HOA. Plus, you're in violation of our architectural standards by not having an approved structure on your parcel within 90 days of purchase, so that's another $1,000 fine per month, and since you claim you've owned this for 6 months. She actually pulls out a calculator. I'm not kidding. You currently owe this HOA $15,750. You can Venmo me, or we can set up a payment plan. I just stare at her. I'm not paying you anything. I don't even know you. Her face goes red. Then I'll see you in court. And when we're done, you'll lose that fake deed and every penny you wasted on it. My husband is a lawyer, and trust me, we've dealt with scammers like you before. She storms back to her house, and I'm left standing there, completely mind blown. I drive back home in complete shock. The first thing I do is call the county assessor's office. I need to know what the hell is going on. The woman I talk to is super helpful. She pulls up the records and confirms, yes, I own 200 acres. Yes, it was a legitimate tax auction. Yes, the deed is recorded and valid. But, she says, there's a note here about a disputed claim. Looks like a family filed paperwork 3 months ago claiming they have an adverse possession case. Adverse possession. Okay, I'd heard of this. Basically, if someone lives on a property long enough and meets certain conditions, they can claim legal ownership even without a deed. But the requirements are strict. We're talking years of open, notorious, and continuous possession. And even then, you have to prove it in court. I ask her, is there any record of an HOA out there? Long pause. An HOA? On rural parcels? That would be unusual. Let me check. More typing. No, there's no recorded HOA for that area. No covenants, conditions, or restrictions on file. If there is one, it was never officially registered with the county. This is getting stranger. I thank her and start doing my own research. Turns out, the previous owner, the one who died, was named Robert Chen. From what I can piece together from old obituaries and public records, he bought the land in 1998, built a small cabin on it, used it for hunting trips, then passed away in 2021. No wife, no kids, one distant cousin who didn't want the property. So where did Karen's family come into this? I start searching property records going back 12 years, like she claimed. And I find it, a deed transfer in 2013 for Lot 7, Mountain Vista Estates to Karen and William Hendricks. But here's the thing. There is no Mountain Vista Estates. Not officially. I pull up the deed, and it's sketchy as hell. It references a plat map that doesn't exist in county records. It's notarized, but by some notary in a completely different state. And the grantor, the person who supposedly sold them the land, isn't Robert Chen. It's some company called Mountain Vista Development LLC. I search for Mountain Vista Development LLC. Dissolved in 2015 for failure to file annual reports. The registered agent? William Hendricks. Karen's husband. Oh. Oh no. This is not good. I realize I'm in over my head, so I hire a real estate attorney. Her name's Patricia, she's in her 60s, and she's dealt with property disputes for 30 years. I send her everything, my deed, Karen's deed, all the records I found. 3 days later, she calls me. You're not going to believe this, she says, but I think they scammed themselves. Here's what Patricia pieced together. Back in 2012, William Hendricks and some business partners tried to develop this area into a subdivision. They formed Mountain Vista Development LLC, created a fake plat map, and started selling lots to people. The problem? They never actually owned the land. They were selling parcels on Robert Chen's 200 acres without his knowledge or permission. Most people never built or visited, they just bought as investments and forgot about them. But Karen and William? They actually built a house on their lot around 2013. They've been living there for over a decade, apparently believing they legitimately owned it. So what happens now? I ask. Well, Patricia says, technically, they're squatters. They have no legal claim to the property. But they'll probably try to claim adverse possession. The problem for them is that their possession wasn't hostile, they thought they had permission via a deed, even though it was fraudulent. That usually defeats an adverse possession claim. What about the HOA? I ask. She laughs. The HOA doesn't exist. I mean, maybe they and their friends call it that, but it has no legal authority. You can't enforce rules or collect fees from an HOA that was never properly formed or registered. Those fines they're threatening you with? Completely meaningless. I feel relieved but also anxious. So what do? We send them a formal notice to vacate. We give them 30 days. If they don't leave, we file for eviction. And I'd recommend we also file a quiet title action to clear up any cloud on your ownership. Will this be expensive? She pauses. It won't be cheap. But you're clearly in the right here. The question is whether they'll fight it or accept reality. Patricia sends the notice to vacate. Karen and William have 30 days to get out of my property. They respond by suing me. I get served with papers claiming I'm engaged in fraud, that I knowingly bought stolen property, and that I'm harassing them. They want damages. They want me to pay their legal fees. They want a restraining order preventing me from going to their property. And here's the kicker, they send a letter to everyone who bought a lot in Mountain Vista Estates, all 11 families, telling them that I'm trying to steal their land, and that they need to band together to fight me. Suddenly, I'm getting threatening emails from strangers. Someone leaves a 1-star review on my business's Google page calling me a con artist. One guy even shows up at my apartment building demanding to talk. It's absolute insanity. I bought land at a legitimate county auction, and now I'm being treated like a criminal. The court date for the preliminary hearing arrives. I'm nervous as hell. But Patricia is calm. Trust me, she says. We have all the evidence. They have nothing. We walk into the courtroom, and there's Karen and William with their lawyer, plus 3 other couples who apparently own lots in the fake subdivision. They're all glaring at me like I'm the villain. The judge reviews the case, looks at the evidence, and I can see his expression change. He looks confused, then annoyed. Mr. Hendricks, the judge says, can you provide proof that Mountain Vista Development LLC had legal authority to sell these parcels? William stands up, confident. Your Honor, we purchased our property in good faith. That's not what I asked. Do you have documentation showing the LLC owned the land it was selling? Long pause. We were told by the company representatives. Who are you, Mr. Hendricks? You're the registered agent. The confidence drains from William's face. The judge continues, this appears to be a case where multiple parties purchased interest in land from an entity that never owned said land. The current plaintiff purchased the property through a legitimate county tax auction and holds a valid deed. Unless you can provide compelling evidence otherwise, I'm dismissing this lawsuit with prejudice. The courtroom goes silent. One of the other couples stands up, but we paid $40,000 for our lot. The judge looks sympathetic but firm. Then you should pursue legal action against whoever sold it to you. But this young man is not responsible for that fraud. After the hearing, Patricia and I are in the hallway when Karen approaches us. She's crying. William's behind her, looking defeated. We didn't know, Karen says. We really didn't know. We thought we were buying real land. We built our whole lives here. And for the first time, I actually feel bad. These people are victims too, even if they've been awful to me. They got scammed by William's own company. Whether he knew it was a scam at the time or was also fooled, I honestly don't know. I look at Patricia. She gives me a slight nod, like she knows what I'm thinking. Look, I say, I don't want to make your family homeless. But I need you to understand, you don't own this land. You never did. And you can't charge people fake HOA fees or threaten them with fake fines. Karen nods, wiping her eyes. But, I continue, I'm willing to work something out. You've been living there for over a decade. You built a home. I'll sell you the 5 acres your house sits on for fair market value. You can get a real deed, a real mortgage, and actually own your property. The rest of the land stays mine. William looks up. You'd do that? On the condition that you stop all this HOA nonsense, you drop any legal claims, and you help me sort out the situation with the other families who think they own lots. Some of them might want to buy their parcels legitimately. The ones who don't, you need to help me make sure they understand the situation. We shake hands. It's awkward, but it's something. Over the next 3 months, we sort everything out. Karen and William buy their 5 acres for $18,000, which they get a loan for. 2 other families decide to buy their parcels legitimately. The rest accept that they were scammed and move on. As for me, I now own 185 acres of beautiful Montana wilderness. I've already sold 50 acres to a conservation group for way more than I paid for the whole thing, which covered all my legal fees and then some. I'm planning to build a small eco-resort on another section. And the craziest part? Karen and I are actually on good terms now. She apologized about 100 times. She even baked me cookies. So what did I learn from all of this? First, always get title insurance, even on cheap land. I got lucky that I was clearly in the right, but title disputes can be expensive and complicated. Second, people can be victims and villains at the same time. Karen and William did terrible things to me, but they were also scammed. That doesn't excuse their behavior, but it does explain it. And third, sometimes the best revenge is mercy. I could have forced them out, made them homeless, squeezed every penny from them. But by finding a solution that worked for everyone, I not only resolved the situation faster, I also got neighbors who are now allies instead of enemies. Oh, and one more thing, if someone tries to fine you for parking on your own land, that's probably a sign something's very, very wrong. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more real estate adventures. And let me know in the comments, would you have handled this differently? Would you have shown mercy, or would you have gone for full legal warfare? I want to hear what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.